And I see I seem to be pushing all the wrong buttons with you, because how can you not feel inspired to let this fly now, you know, to let my knowledge out, to carry you out there in a way you've never been carried before. And well, let's start at the beginning. Why did I choose this music? First of all, it's David Garrett there. I'm sorry, I'm still burping for my food, from the Chinese, German, Italian, whatever mixture food. And this is David Garrett playing Winter by Vivaldi. It's the Four Seasons. And see, you're a Taurus, my dad was a Taurus, and my dad was a very Wohlfahrt Taurus. Driving a Daimler, you know, entrepreneur, and he gave to everybody. And I know he was inspired to do this by the thing. And I think that I was living with him, you know, to see how it works in a guy, maybe a Taurus, and maybe this is why you're a Taurus and chosen, and for me to have some basic idea. And you know, we have some history that we can make good on, you know, and no hard feelings anymore, because I think Germany has done enough now, you know, in saying we're sorry, and to bring out the old 90-year-olds, you know. It's like it will not bring anybody back. All what we can do now is bring us back, our feelings again. And so I try to bring your feelings back, because I know that your wife passed away, and I didn't know her, and I know that I knocked on her also, because, you know, she did what a lot of Germans do, and well, especially Germans, you know. We think that we are the cream of the crop, you know. We are the wise guys, the Weisenheimers, as the Americans like to call us. And you know, what works for us here, we say like, okay, you know, now you're gonna have, we're gonna show you, and not very sensitive. And you know, no, I'm saying this, right, because I knock on people, and I'm knocking on you over there. and how am I allowed to get to you, you know? I wonder, because I tried nice, I tried to provoke you, because that's what my dad did in business, you know. He provoked the people. He went to the bank and he said, you know what, you're a criminal, I'm a criminal, now let's talk. Because the banks, what's a bank? A bank takes money from other people and works with other people's money that they worked for, and that, you know, real labor, and they just exchange money around, and then suddenly it grows out of what? Like, that's like, you know, I take this cup, and then suddenly there are 5 cups. From what? Just from shoveling papers around? Really weird banking system. So anyway, and my father was on freight forwarding, and freight forwarding are the biggest crooks on earth, because they're the lowest paid. And here in Germany, even more so than in America, because here service is nothing. You know, it's worth nothing, because everybody who needs something done, you know, actually would need a service, they say, well, I can do it on my own. Well, great, you know, end of service. If everybody does everything on their own, then let's do everything on our own. But then how do you build your cars on your own? So that's a service too, right? Everything's a service. And so anyway, they're the biggest crooks. And my dad actually, you know, he was very creative. He was an artist also, and he took that passion and creativity into the business. And then he was very creative with the finances also. You know, it's like, well, move that there and move that there, and then, you know, like, you bring this back. I send you this invoice, you know, and that's really not an invoice. Money laundry, you know, all kinds of tricks he had, and everybody does that. I know that especially the shipping industry, that's what they do, and others as well. Everybody does it. And so I'm here to stop that nonsense. And, you know, when the computer came, well, that's where he lost it, you know. No more creativity, because, oh my goodness, now I need to put everything, I need to plug everything in, and everybody can see what I'm doing. So no computers for me. And that was a little bit his downfall. But then there were people working with him, they also let him fall. they just thought, okay, no, my father was also like somebody, he was very giving, but if somebody didn't give it to him every now and then, they were stupid. So there were some people, of course, they were not like that, and they didn't really like him that much. So they fought him. And lots of jealousy, because he was also very, he was very successful. And when people are good, then people get jealous, and then they fight you. Well, you're good too. So I wonder, like, who's sawing on your chair? And then, of course, you've got all the teams, so I'm sure they stop the ones sawing on your chair. No, I'm not sawing on your chair. I'm bonus. I'm cream on top. On the cream off the crop. So anyway, so your wife, invited all the children. They were underage and gave them alcohol. And the idea is great, because this is how I grew up too. I was allowed to have wine and beer. Now beer, I can't even take the smell. I don't like beer. In the summer when it's really hot, I have some lemon soda and lemonade, bubbled lemonade, and like a drop of beer in there, so it's not so sweet. So that I can take, but basically I can't even take the smell, and it's so bitter. I don't know. The wine, I learned. But then when I was 12, I had half a glass, and that was like, okay, really being part of mom and dad, and not exactly my thing at that time. And then I like the real sweeter wine, and now I like a dry. And so anyway, I do have my 2 children hiding there, but this is really your family now. This is, and I will read that to you, because there's this really beautiful picture of you and your wife. I love that one. Your wife looks so beautiful in there, and she says to you, "Death is a part of life, and we all only have one, and that is now, honey." Now I know I put those words into her mouth, but I can imagine she would have said something like that to you. And then you have your 2 sons, and the sons, naturally, biological, chemistry, whatever you want to call it, are close to their mom. So that's what they say. "We miss you, Mom, forever." And then daughters are really close to their dads, because I was really close, and dads have a little bit of trouble, sharing that with their daughters. And I don't know about your relationship with your daughter, and I see your daughter sometimes really happy, and I sometimes see her really sad, maybe, or like lost, or let's just say sad. So anyway, I had her say something too. "I love you, Dad. You're my hero forever," and I'm sure that's what you are to her. I know this because I can feel it. I see in the pictures me in there, like how I used to feel with my dad. And I would love to, maybe you don't need any help, and then maybe you do, maybe we can talk about this openly. And I talk to people here all the time, and they share, after I tell them, what I plan with you, they open up. And they tell me everything about themselves. I have one, from Kühne Nagel, shipping company here. He told me about his difficulties with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend is, the one that still wears the high heels, and she is afraid really to open up. And then he said, well, you know what, a guy really, it's enough for him to love a woman for who she is, but then for a woman, it's not enough to just love the guy. She wants security. She wants to know that she's gonna be taken care of forever, and she wants me to be there and reassure her all the time about that. And this is really like draining me, and this is very, very difficult. And I love the woman so much. So I told her, I told him, you know what? That's your feelings. That's what you need to share with her. This is what you need to tell her. And he was in 7th heaven, because he suddenly realized that's what he felt. And now we put this in a bigger context, because you're a big guy, you have the power. because the woman who has all these fears and maybe clings even to the guy a little bit is part of the system that we created, this man-made system, that for her, she knows already up front, she will never have the same chances as her boyfriend. And so, you know, also the other thing is that, you know, biologically, eventually she's going to have the children. And then he can keep going to work and build his career up, and then she's gonna fall behind and will never be able to catch up to him anymore. And then she will never have the same opportunity that he has. And so we created a system against human nature, against human feelings that are not part of that system. They're not allowed to be, because they need to stay outside. If you bring them in, you're weak, and then you get thrown outside. And so her fears are very real and tangible, and they can be changed if we open up and remember that at one point on May 5th, 1953, you saw the light of our earth coming from a woman. It's just how it is. And I'm sorry that I, you know, am so graphic and so direct. And maybe you want to be that Vorfahrtsverein to bring that news out and ask everybody to get involved, and you know, I will work with you to offer some alternatives, like sharing a position in a job in your company between husband and wife. That's a possibility. Now, the people that actually put your cars together, it's very physical, and they actually, a lot of them, they end up being handicapped, you know, and need to be supported. So possibly there's a way that we can say, all right, you're hired for, let's say, 10 years, 15 years or something, and then after that, while they're working, they can think of what they can do other than this physical work, and or even get rotated in their positions in your company, so not always the same movement is being made, and you know, straining the body, and so those are things that we can talk about. And for that actually I would need a little bit more of how your company works, how a car is built, you know, and how everything is set up, to know where we can pinpoint and say this can be different. And I know there are people out there. Basically, I'm here to bring the thing here for other people also get involved, to make recommendations, and you know, just to go out there and say, oh, we don't want this, we don't want that. Not enough. If I say I don't want anything, or I think this is wrong, I will never say it unless I also have an alternative. And this is what I'm offering. So happy birthday, I see time's up again, and I think for today that's enough. Yeah.